Good morning, Adrija. I'm Sohik Misra, and today I, on the behalf of whole Israel TMSL student chapter, want to cordially invite you of our student chapter. And Dada, we are extremely thankful to you that you have spared some amount of your time from your busy schedule to be with us and to share some of your experiences and journeys ahead. Thank you, Dada.
Hello
Dada, my
everyone.
first.
Yes.
Dada, carry on. Dada, carry on.
Hello everyone. Myself Adrish, 2017 pass out of Technomen Salt Lake of the Mechanical Engineering Department. With ISHRE, I have a long connection because I think it was our batch who initiated the step of opening this club. But due to some technical reasons or some, you could say, protocols of ISHRE, that year we couldn't start the chapter. Hopefully, I think in the next year, in 2018, the chapter was started. So the thing is, first I would like to introduce myself. Currently, I am working as a automotive product design and development engineer with Tata Consultancy Services. Currently, I am deputed to Japan. So I work for one of the leading Japanese OEM clients. Regarding about my experience, I would say that I will start from the very basic, from the college days to the now what I am doing. So starting from the college days, so everyone being a student of mechanical engineering department, they have a wrong notion about service-based companies like TCS or Infosys or any other companies in that category. Because when I see students of even in my batch, even now, or it's a trend, you could say that being a mechanical engineer, why I should work in those IT companies. The thing is, we don't know the definition of those companies. Those are not only the IT companies, they are basically service-based companies. Apart from creating IT products and softwares or whatever technical support or ITIS jobs, all these companies, all these big software giants in our country have a separate field. That's the core engineering field. So if I talk about TCS being the one of the biggest leader among all of them, so EIS stands for Engineering Industrial Services, and now they have divided this into two domains. One is Engineering Industrial Services, one is IoT. So by name, we could say that for mechanical engineering, Engineering Industrial Services is the a core branch that will be going through. So in Engineering Industrial Services within TCS, I am saying that there are many domains or verticals we say. It is automotive, in which I work. There is aerospace, there is high-tech telecom, and there are semiconductors. Now we want to say what is the use of semiconductor or mechanical engineer. So all the thermal cycles and all that are being run in the semiconductor, all the computer chips are all the work that's done behind the scene by a mechanical engineer. So like that we have many other verticals, like I think wind energy is there, thermal power plant is there. So these are service based companies. So what is the basically these companies does is every big companies will they won't hire their own employees due to some technical issues or something, because of the profitability of the company, whatever it is, business requirement. So they will give in contract to these service based companies. So these service based companies will send their employees on behalf. So I am working on a client location, so I am being deputed on behalf of TCS to the client company. So the thing is, once you are being recruited there, so they will tag you to various domains. Now before coming to the domain, I will say once you sit for interview or something, they will ask you in which field are you interested to. So many mechanical engineer would opt for, including in our batch or in any other batch, many will opt who have interest in coding, or they will opt for IoT, because that is the latest trend in the whole industry, in which in whichever field you go. So the thing is, other than IoT, few people will choose these domains. But to be frank, and the allocation of domain is not in your hands. It is based on your performance during your training days or whatever it is, algorithm behind the scenes. What it goes, I don't know. So you could say that working in these companies, service-based companies. So the thing is, the allocation of domain, be it aerospace, automotive, or whatever it is, or in whichever field there is a business requirement, they will recruit you. The business requirement should be there at on that time, on that day. Suppose I am being recruited, so suppose there is no opening for automotive, but there is scope in aerospace, so they will pull you out and tag you there. So nothing is fixed in these companies. So after you get these are, I am talking about service based companies. One we have, I hope you all know that there are two types of companies. One is product based company, one is service based companies. So product based companies are the companies which we can see the product. If say if I got a mobile, so it could be either an Apple or a Samsung. So Apple and Samsung are product based companies. But if I say that the screen of Apple is made by Panasonic, but nowhere in that Apple phone it's written that it is made of Panasonic or some other thing. So Panasonic is a service based or a supplier kind of company, you can say, who are providing the services to develop that product. So for a mechanical engineer, there are two scope. Either you go for service based company or you go for product based company. So there is always an advantage of product based company, because you know what all things needs to be done to get these services. Service based or job specific. Suppose I am being allotted that I am allowed to do only this kind of jobs. Suppose if I say, suppose in case of a product, I say suppose my job is only to design that area. I won't be looking into the broader perspective of that product. I'll be concentrating only in that small area. But in product based company, since you are the owner of the product, you need to think about the full product. So being a mechanical engineer, we always have two scope. Either we go for service based or product based. But these days, if I say, because the world is moving on, we need to be agile. Product based company will only know about that product, what it is. Service based company would know a small part of that product, but they know some other things that the other product, that the product based company doesn't know. Suppose in the sense that service based companies knows, if you see there are many things. Suppose like I took the example Apple. So Apple and Panasonic. Apple doesn't know how to make display. The display in the iPhone is not made by Apple, but Panasonic knows it. So there are certain service-based companies technologies that are being adopted, that remains within the company. So you can say means both has some pros and cons, both the companies. So one thing you could say, obviously talent depends, but your luck will also play an important factor where you go. So once they come to a service-based company, once you are tagged, so the thing is, so what they will do is they will train you first in a certain domain. Initial 2 to 3 months you will be get trained. So once you are trained, you are being thrown to the projects. So there you will be go under some seniors or within some team where they will slowly try to teach you. Okay. So it is up to us how we grab this. One more wrong notion I want to clear from all that. We say, many of us heard that uh, subjects don't matter. Okay. Suppose if I say SOM, its strength or anything, any subject you take on. Okay. So if I'm working in this field, what field I work? Suppose I work for automotive interiors part. My domain is okay. So every time I need to think about the strength of the product. If because my product is being sold through worldwide, it might be subjected to harsh temperature in other country or in very cold countries. So I should know, for that I should know thermodynamics, if my product would be able to sustain that temperature. Third thing, fluid. Since I work for mainly for plastics, so the process of injection is completely dependent on fluid mechanics. So I would say that none of the subject is more important, none is least. All the students should have an average balance of all the subjects, a bit knowledge. I won't say in depth. Suppose if I give us one beam, and if I ask you to draw a SFD and BMD diagram, many of you don't know, but that is the basic thing. Even now here we calculate, though there are many computers, many technologies, but that is being done in real world also. So these basic, very very small things. Suppose calculating an efficiency of one cycle or something, some heat cycles or some other any things. The how to apply Bernoulli, where not to apply, these kind of things. Okay, so these knowledge are important. Above all, I would say the manufacturing, the one that we start learning from second semester till the last semester. In each semester, you would see there would be one subject related to manufacturing, be it GD&T, be it production, something would be related to manufacturing. So all those manufacturing subjects needs to be understood. Not you don't need to remember anything. It needs to be understood. Why it is done, why it is not done. Because when I'm designing a product, I don't work in a factory. In my entire career, I have not visited a single factory. But I have to sit in an AC room and imagine, okay, if I do this, then this will might get affected in the production. So you need to have that creativity of thinking that if I do this, it will happen. So that uh, thought process needs to be developed from self or through experience. It will come. Okay, so the thing is, uh, if you want to know specifically about automotive, then I'll move to that, or you want to know in general that I want to ask.
Uh, no. We would like to know more about the automotive part. Yes.
The automotive part, the thing is, there are basically the whole industry is divided into two, as I told, service based and product based. Now, service based companies are product based is the OEM. We call it original equipment manufacturer. So all the cars that you see, the Tatas, Mahindras, Maruti, we call it OEM, original equipment manufacturer. So we are now supplier. Now we come to service based. One will be service based company in form of service. Suppose I am a design engineer, so I am giving my service to the OEM. Okay, one more service based company is a product based service company. Just now I took the example of Panasonic for Apple. So Panasonic is a product based service company for Apple. But there will be, suppose there will be many IT companies, maybe it TCS or some other, I don't know who all works, who all work for the development of the Apple software. They don't give product, but they give service. So service based companies are also divided into two verticals apart from the OEM. So the thing is, in this automotive field, these two kind of uh, people are there: service based people and product based suppliers. OEMs people are different. So the first choice for all the engineers, mechanic, if I say graduate, we should try for OEMs. So, regarding automotive opportunity for freshers currently in India, apart from if I say about OEMs, we should one of the best opportunities that we get in India is from Maruti Suzuki. Okay, so the thing is, the basic requirement they need is we should have 1 year job experience in any field. It is not necessary that you should work in a mechanical or anything or anything. It could be anywhere, anything, but you should have a job. 1 year experience. They will conduct a national wide test, and if you pass, then you will get through with a good package. You will become some assistant manager thing. Okay, so that is, and there might be some other companies, but I'm not aware. I'm aware of this Maruti thing. Regarding service-based companies, mostly if you get recruited by any of the IT giants and you are a mechanical engineer, and because these, if I say about engineering industrial service, because this is a niche branch of TCS. Okay, so mostly if you see, there might be 1,000 mechanical engineers getting recruited, but hardly 10 people will work there, will be go to EIS. So you need to set yourself apart, you need to show your skills. So for college students, I would suggest mainly two things. In the whole automotive industry, there are two things that play a major role. First is one, the design software. So for all design engineer, I would urge to learn either of the two softwares. One is CATIA V5, not the V6. Okay, and Siemens NX or Unigraphics, what we called it. These are the only two softwares that is being used through whole automotive industry. After that, the second and the most important thing what I faced as a challenge in my career as now is the language. Because if I talk for automotive, only two countries in the world come on top. One is Germany, one is Japan. If you see all the automotive industry, 90% of the OEMs are origin of these two countries. If I talk about Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, all belongs to Germany. If I talk about Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Subaru, Mazda, these all belongs to Japan. And when I am talking about automotive industry, I'm only talking about the passenger car segment vehicle, because there are trucks and all also that comes under different segment, or the commercial vehicles like the bus, trucks. So this will fall under different category. I'm only talking about our non general day-to-day passenger cars, or we call it light commercial vehicles, LCVs. So once you get recruited to any of these companies, so first choice will always be for OEM. So I would urge, if you all guys are interested to work, so if you get recruited to any company, don't dishearten, but whatever is the entire GATE syllabus, that will be the syllabus for the Maruti Suzuki national wide test. Okay, but you should have a 1 year experience. So with working with 1 year experience, the form generally comes out in the month of, I think, February. I forgot the month. You should visit Maruti Suzuki's career website, official website, and they will give the detail there. So that is one opportunity. Second opportunity, I should say, I saw one of your seniors, I think Amit or someone. He joined Marelli recently. Means, okay, so Marelli is a product-based service company. What they do is they will supply the part. So if you see in a car, the entire car is not being built in that entire car's factory. Many parts like the seats, if we talk about the plastic parts, all are being made outside. They are being brought in and just being assembled in that car. So the thing is, so these companies like Marelli, Kasai, then Autoliv, Continental, these are the big companies. We call it product-based service company. Okay. Third type is companies like us, those who provide uh, s- design support or CAE support, I would say, CAD and CAE. So there are two domains here again, CAD, CAE. I work for CAD. There is one more domain, CAE. Okay. So the thing is, these companies, we won't sell, we won't give products. What we will do is our engineers will work to develop that product. So I would say for a fresher, the best place to learn is the companies like product-based service company. Because if you go to the OEM, you will have an overall knowledge of the vehicle, but your basics, you can't know that basics in detail because you are the owner of the entire product. If I say about the car, you are the owner of the entire car. Okay, so you don't have much time to think about other things in detail. If I am talking about design-based CAD services, okay, CAD job. Here also I would say that you will come to know. Means I would work on a particular place or particular thing. But the thing is, uh, if I work for a product-based service company, right? Because I am the one who will be designing and making that product and seeing by hand. Seeing in computer and seeing on hand is a two different thing. So I would know, like Thomas Alva Edison said, that there are many ways that he knows that he can't make a bulb. So that knowledge is important, really important in our field. Because sitting in an AC room, suppose I would say in mechanical, we all know that all our drawings are in millimeter. So in our field, even 1 makes a very big difference. If you see the quality of the product, simple I am saying, suppose I will take 2 AMs. Why Alto is cheaper than one Benz? Why? Because if you check, if I'll just simply, you can look into the car. Suppose any between you'll know that there is a gap between two parts. Okay, so if you check in a small Maruti Swift Desire or a Alto, you can see that the gap there will be big. But if you go and see Maruti, not I'm saying Benz will be very high class. Suppose let's take an example, Honda City and a Swift Desire. There is a price difference of almost 1 to 2 lakhs. Both falls in the same segment, C segment sedan. But if you check the difference between the parts, the GD&T, what I am basically trying to say, is less in Honda compared to a Desire. That's why Desire is being sold in less price and Honda is being sold in more price, because to maintain that gap, he has spent money. Because if I give money with, if more gap is required, means more accuracy is not required, so my chances of what to say quality is requirement is not more, but where the gaps and all these reduces, quality comes into picture. So I would say that people who buy cars in general, people when public, they don't know these things in detail what we know. Okay, so they will only see the first thing that, okay, I'm going to buy a car, this is cheaper, this is being sold in most of the cars, all my friends has bought this looks good. They won't see in detail inside. They will only see the price tag. And one more thing, that Indian mindset is mileage. And nowadays mileage, because as you are moving to the world of electric vehicles, so mileage plays no or minimal roles as we are moving out of fuel. So I would say so for a fresher to start in a best company is a product based service company, then move on to service based CAD design companies, at last move to OEM. Your pay scale won't be increasing that much. One more thing I want to say about the pay scale: if you are in India, if you are not in OEM, pay scale won't be much high. If I talk about money and growth, so that's why I'm saying we should know two things. One is the software I told, CAD. The second thing where you can increase your money is through language. If you know Japanese or German, okay, Japanese, there is a particular certification, we call it JLPT. If you are, one level is there actually, N3 and N2. If you are qualified above that, and in German, I think B1 or B2, we need to qualify. Those, each country government will have a exam. If you qualify these two, then you are supposed to eligible to get recruited by a Japanese or a German company. So if you go in these countries, because here the resources are less compared to our country India. In India, the human resources are more. So what they do is they won't pay you much. So once you are being recruited by, if you gain some minimal experience, 3 to 4 year experience within India, learn the job, and if you can try to switch to some other countries, so this language will play a very very important role, more than your technical things. Because technical things you can do here and there, something you will do out of your mind. If you don't know the language, and language doesn't mean only to speak, it means read, write, everything, both. Read, write, speak, I should say all the three things. So if you know these things, and one more country is there, that is not a means country of big opportunity, France or Italy, you can say. So these four countries domain the full automotive world: Japan, Germany, France, and Italy. Japan and Germany being the two largest among. So if you any of the four countries languages, if you know, so you can see that you can build a good career in this field. In India, I won't say opportunity is not there, it is there, but as I told, competition is very 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 high. Because uh, if you work in a very small, I say like product based companies, okay, product based service company in India, the biggest company is Faurecia. It is located in Pune. Okay, they supply parts for Mercedes, all the companies in India, almost Tatas and all, everywhere. The thing is, if you get recruited to those companies, then your package will be more. But those companies will also recruit from some other small companies. Don't try to go in those small companies, because once you get in, your pay scale will get reduced. So for a good pay scale, you should first either you go for service based CAD companies like I work, or only for tier one, I would say tier one product based service company like Faurecia, Marelli, those who supply product directly to the OEM. Or if you are lucky enough, always try to go for OEM, because in OEM the package is very very huge, but to getting into there is bit difficult. So I would suggest for all the juniors that we should uh, what I told, those things only: language and your software, and basic knowledge about all the subjects, not only CAD and C. One more important subject I would like to mention, that is that doesn't fall under our core mechanical subject, is the operation management subject. I think in 7th semester, 8th semester, one subject is the operation management. Or that subject plays a very vital role in this field. You should, because designing the product doesn't only mean that I am working in CAD. Okay, it means everything from calculating the part cost of one product to the weight of one product, because cost and mass plays a very vital role in this industry. So once cost and mass is, you know those concepts, and to get a better idea of the concept, you should know operation management, the just in time concept or whatever it is. Okay, because there is no inventory stored. Suppose the company's intention is, if he is making 1,000 products in the market, then today he will have 1,000 products being delivered.
OEM or service based company ওই just মানে as a fresher কোনটাতে জয়েন করা বেটার?
So sir আমরা রেকর্ডিং স্টার্ট করি নাকি?
Yes, the recording start হয়েছে. Yes.
So talking about companies, for a fresher, if you want to get good package, I would say if you should go for OEMs. But really, if you want to learn, you should go for tier 1. Means OEM will directly contract some company to
Sorry, I didn't understand.
to serve that. Sorry, it's my Alexa. Okay.
Oh wow, I'm so excited. I really hope I make a good first impression.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So basically, for OEMs, the main thing is if you want to get good packages, so you should always opt for OEM. The companies that are selling cars, Tata, Mahindra, Suzuki, or whatever it is. Okay. Second thing is, if you want to learn and grow later in life, always better go for tier 1 supplier companies, like the companies that which the company means the OEMs will recruit to deliver their products. Suppose in a car there is a seat. The seat is being manufactured by some other companies and being brought and set in that car. Okay, so I would say the company those are manufacturing those products, we call it level 1 products, and the companies that delivers the product we call it tier 1 supplier. There you would get, not I should say much, you would get a good pay scale, but the things that you learn there will later very, very beneficial. Okay, so and working in OEM and service based company are two different things. OEM work style is completely different. Okay, they will be only focused on cost and weight, because if I am able to reduce the weight, and in that condition my cost will reduce, so I would be able to make much profit. So that is the main thing that goes behind. Okay, in a car I will give you a good example. If you please notice that example. I'll take example of Swift Desire. You all Olas and Ubers in the city are with Swift Desire. Okay, if you check the driver side, most of the car won't have this grip handle, only the driver side, but in few models you will see that is there. So that is one cost cutting for the company, because while driving driver won't hold that one. That is just given for aesthetic purpose or for some time, but that is not required, but for passenger it is required. So these kind of differences, if you work, there are many such differences. I'm not going into detail, but this is one major example. If you sit in the car, you can just watch this. You go in one Swift, another Swift, you'll watch the difference. In one car it will be there, in one car it won't be there. That grip handle in which above the window. So you should know, means above all, being a product design is not, means there is not subject to a specific, if I am from automobile engineering background I know much, nothing like that. You should know everything, tora, small. So you should know GD&T, you should know production, you should know SOM, you should know theory of machines, everything. That basic idea, because it is not possible for human being to know everything from top to bottom. And apart from these basic subjects, each companies have their own protocol or safety standards. If you're working for a big company, they will have their, means certain guidelines they will have. I'll be designing this, so I'll get this. So those guidelines company to company it will vary, and we can't disclose this anything anywhere outside. Okay, suppose I am making one product, I only know what should standard should be for. That standard is being mentioned by the company beforehand. It is there for all the companies. Suppose for an iPhone also, Apple has set a standard. I think the cameras of Apple, or the chip that the binding chip is being delivered by Samsung. So that Samsung doesn't own the copyright of selling that chip, and that technology Samsung can't use in their own phone. So that is being blocked by Apple's protocol and design standards. Okay, so same thing in automobile, except the sheet, the outside of the car we see the body, the metal part. except that nothing is being manufactured inside that car company. All parts are being bought outside, including the only some in few companies, big companies have their own engine plants. In India, if we say till last year, most 90% of the cars in India used to use Fiat's engine. Due to BS6 upgradation regulation, now I think Tata has moved to their own engine, and Maruti is using Suzuki Japan's engine or Toyota's engine. Mahindra has their own engine, but before that, in India, all companies used to use Fiat's engine. So engine is sometime it can be made within in-house, or sometime it is being brought from outside. So except these 3 to 4 parts, all parts are being manufactured by some other companies. This is a full supplier. So I have when I'm saying about the product-based service company, I mean these all the parts that this my car company is sourcing. We call it sourcing from other companies. Okay. So these all, if you try to work in these companies, it will be beneficial for your knowledge in many ways. Okay. So if I talk about India, apart from the foreign, I already told about the countries. If I talk about India, so generally we have 2 to 3 automotive belts in the country. First and the biggest belt in the country is in Chennai. Outskirts of Chennai, we have Ford, we have Hyundai, we have Nissan, we have Renault. I think we have this thing, Fords, we have Ashok Leyland or Hinduja Motors, what do you call it? Okay, then we have TVS in two-wheeler segment, Honda two-wheeler, that is one belt. Second belt is in Pune region. We have Tata Motors, we have Mahindra, we have Mercedes. Third belt is in Delhi and Gurgaon. We have Maruti, the biggest one in the region, and Honda. And nowadays, I think in Hyderabad, we have the new Kia plant. So during this lockdown, why I'm saying this product-based service company, you might have heard this, but you might not know this particular term, product-based service companies. During lockdown, you might have heard that Honda or Maruti stopped the production, so this many migrant workers has to leave the places. It is not that Maruti's workers were leaving the places, or the people working in Maruti were leaving the places, or in Honda where they were living. These are the people of those product-based service companies. Suppose if I'm making a seat, I need to buy the foam of the seat, I need to buy the leather, I need to buy the steel. These big companies will again recruit small company below them. So we have OEM, tier 1 companies, the company who is directly supplying to the OEM that entire seat set. And this company who are making the seat, they will also they need to buy the raw materials, right? So these are the small companies. Try to avoid these low belt companies, because your job is not permanent, not fixed. Because I think before lockdown, there was a thing that the Maruti stopped their production. So all these lighting, small companies, migrant workers has to lose their job or whatever it is. So try to avoid these companies. Here you need to work like anything and you won't get paid. Always try to work from tier 1 supplier to OEMs. And the other, apart from this is product based. Apart from this, there is a service based. Those who supports, like CAD support or any other support. Okay, so the thing is, never try to go below tier 1. So always try to work in tier 1 suppliers or above that. So you will have a broad perspective. And one more wrong notion about all the students, I would say, or whatever, whoever it is, never ignore Microsoft Excel and Microsoft PowerPoint. Whichever software you use, whichever things you use, the end product is either a presentation or an Excel sheet. Try to learn shortcuts of this thing, how to arrange. Okay, any professional PPT, I have seen many people in college, including I used to do. We used to give lot of colorful images and animations, and my text will come and fly here. Those things are not required in professional PPTs. Okay, so those things, if you learn from YouTube, because then nowadays everything is available in YouTube or whatever open source it is. So if you learn those things, that will be really very helpful. Apart from these things, technical things. Okay, so this was all about I need to say.
Thank you, Dada. Lastly, in what one simple question or a simple sentence, I want to say that what is the basic mool mantra that you want to share with us, or say to your juniors that will help us to save our professional career ahead? What is the single mole mantra?
Keep your mind always open. Be cautious.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dada. So,
Okay.
the whole Israel TMC chapter today, I want to thank you because I know you have a very busy schedule, so you have managed your time and interacted with us, and it is our first ever alumni interaction episode, and we have learned various type of insights in the field of automotives and different types of product based and different types of companies right there. So thank you, Dada, that you have gave the insightful knowledges and experiences that we have gathered upon. So thank you, Dada.
Thank you. Thank you.